Alright guys, so today we are going to be playing Arena once again. So I do want to get more footage of Hyaku Shiki and then Qubeley together. So that's why I feel like Arena is probably going to be the best place to showcase both of them. So initially I was trying to do like a more in-depth comparison of like when or how long does this take for both Hyaku Shiki and Qubeley to pop the EXQ, but I figured that it's just easier for me to just straight up tell you guys that throughout my testing I do see that Hyaku Shiki tends to activate EXQ a little bit easier, or I guess faster than how Qubeley could do it. So you guys can definitely let me know your result as well, because throughout the testing it seems to be trending that direction. So when we do hop in Arena, I do feel that if we do get to the point where we do need to activate EXQ wise, I think Hyaku Shiki probably would have an upper edge on that. But essentially this is going to be the team that we are looking at. So we do have Zeta, Kasi, former Gundam Thunderbolt, the O, and then Hyaku Shiki, and then Qubeley. So you can kind of call this the Zeta series team. So because we essentially do have the main 4 unit to go, with the exception of obviously Kasi and then what is it, former and Gundam Thunderbolt. But I think this team is definitely pretty effective. 3 tanks, 3 attackers, so I think it's pretty decent. Essentially the 3 tanks is definitely to deter any attacks that we'll be receiving, and I think we do have pretty much all the color necessary to counter that, so I think we should be fine. If it does come down to activating multiple EXQ with with the Hyaku Shiki and Qubeley, that means we probably didn't take them that fast enough where we had to resort to them. But normally speaking, I think with Zeta alone could do the work. Zeta wise, let's say the first 4 unit, I do have them at custom level 12 because we obviously went up the level already, so we have that. The exception is Hyaku Shiki and Qubeley. I don't have enough resources for them, so they will be sitting at custom level 11 with level 112 or 120. Module wise, we are using a double DPS for Zeta, so we can get the most out of it. This one, can see we are going with double HP. I think for Gundam we have what are we using? What? Why are we? Whoa. Oh, I think I was using that to play with the, what is it, the story event extra stage. So now we gotta go back into the HP, because if we don't do that, I think we are prone to be taking a lot of damage. So let me swap back to that. Oh, why? I almost forgot about that. So alright, we'll just do that. And then the O, we have this module, the one with the narrative icon right there. So this one does allow us to have some evasion and then stacking some damage. So essentially this is the best we can do, because I think the O does not really need a lot of HP, because this is more of an evasive tank, so HP wise don't really matter. And then for Hyaku Shiki, I am going with some HP as well, just to be a little bit tankier. And then for Qubeley, we will be using the raid equipment, because I think this one should be fine. We are getting evasion, 14% will be stacked both of them together, and then we are also getting some beam damage as well, so that should be fine. So let's actually hop into our first arena match and then see how we will do. Alright, let's kind of see what we have right here. So alright, I think this is I think we will just kind of go this direction wise, we should be fine. If we can actually land Hyaku Shiki's EXQ right off the bat, we should be able to neutralize Shorisaku 2 and then Sasabi quite well, at least for a few seconds. So I think that should be fine. Let's kind of go with that. One time sweep, so I guess we can put our attention into Hyaku Shiki first and then see how fast it would take to pop EXQ. So far in this one, it looks like Hyaku Shiki will pop his first one right away, and then we have Qubeley just popping his EXQ right after that. So yeah, I think overall it's just the behavior of the unit, because Hyaku Shiki is obviously a raid unit, while Qubeley is more of a generic unit, and then its functionality uses more of its ranged weapon. So I guess it just takes a little bit longer. So we have that. Alright, let's see how we did. So yeah, so normally speaking, Zeta is probably going to be the one that's doing most of this work. So we have that, and then we have Cassid, we have Qubeley. So I think the other thing that we also do want to see is the average damage we are able to deal with between Hyaku Shiki and then Qubeley. And then disclaimer, obviously my Hyaku Shiki is only at EX skill level 1, so we are not going to be expecting some high average, so we are averaging 11k for that one, so that is obviously pretty weak. So as we do advance in our custom level, that number is going to change because the EXQ obviously this take into the consideration of our attack overall. So since we are only at custom level 11, that is definitely going to be lacking just a little bit behind. And then for Qubeley, we are looking at an average of 18, so that's actually pretty high, so not bad. It's kind of as expected because my Qubeley, it is EX skill or what is it, potential LH 3, so you know, kind of as expected right there. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, so this one, oh wow, we have an enemy DO as well. So if that's the case, I think we'll go with this. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So my plan is to neutralize DO with Cassid because we can guarantee hit. So pretty much DO's evasion is gonna be pointless at that point in time. So we are trying to see if we can rely on that. But the other thing I feel like to mention about is the team composition. Because I don't have Sisikri and then I don't have Hamaha maxed out, so those two would have been good additional unit to use for this team because we can constantly pop those AoE EXQ, so that is definitely going to be a key to winning in terms of these arena matches. So that's definitely something I do want to kind of point out right there as well. So right now this team, we can kind of call it incomplete because if we would have had two other AoE EXQ casting units, man, this team is going to be hitting hard right off the bat. So I don't know, like I feel like Hamahama, I should just use that 1k rainbow coin to max things out because it seems like a reasonable thing to do in a way. I feel like it. And this one, yep, Zeta did it again, the O Qubeley, and wow, Hakaziki barely did anything. It is kind of expected because besides the EXQ portion wise, like Hyaku Shiki is not really going to be offering much output from its main weapon, additional weapon. It just isn't, alright? Like compared to Qubeley is days and night, right? So that's definitely something for you guys to note right there. So this one average of 12k, while this time around we hit an average of 20k. So okay, pretty nice right there. And then for Qubeley, we are always going to be hitting neutral damage to everyone besides the yellow. That is going to be type advantage, but everything else, we will never hit this type disadvantage in this specific color because yellow and purple, they counter color each other, and facing off each other they will always be type advantage. So that's what's good about Qubeley itself, because you will never face disadvantage for the setup, so you can always hit a higher threshold in terms of the average EX skill. So something to point out there as well. Alright, so for this one, I am just gonna go with this setup right here. I don't really know if I'm making the right decision for this one, so you know what, I'll actually, yeah, I think I'll just kind of go with that. So I think my biggest worry is that Cassid died right off the bat. I think we probably will, I would have to say. And then the enemy obviously does have a Hyaku Shiki as well, so wow, yeah, I feel like theirs is actually quite maxed out. Okay, oh, we got that one in the back. Wow, let's kind of see. That was pretty good. Wow, halfway through, I literally thought we weren't really gonna make it, but it looks like Qubeley and then Hyaku Shiki actually made it all worked out. So on terms of their side, they did a bigger portion of EXQ damage than what my Hyaku Shiki could do. So that led me to kind of assume that they should have it maxed out, meaning their potential at least should be at EX, or should be EX level 5. So for me, on average, I popped it within the first 10 seconds, an average of 13, while this one is an average of 19. So this one died pretty fast. Who killed this one? Oh, sure, it's Azaku too. Okay, so this one probably took a lot of hits. I mean, right now I feel like the weakest of the bunch is definitely for Megan Thunderbolt because I don't really have any additional investment into that unit, and I do feel like whenever we do have another better tank, that's gonna be another one to go off from my roster. But so far, I do still want to use it because it still adds an extra layer of defensive aspect on our team that allow our main DPS to just do a lot of work. So let's move on to our final one. Alright, so this one is gonna be our last match, and then let's just actually set up like this, and we should be fine on this one, I would have to say. Alright, so I think for this one we can actually lure in Hyaku Shiki on their end. I think Hyaku Shiki will probably focus on 2DO, and then we can go from there. Alright, let's just kind of do that. Alright, in terms of their enemy lineup, it's pretty much mostly the same as what we have, I would say. So it just really depends on how we would kind of do. So, okay. Well, we just took some hit right there. A lot. Alright. Akashiki pop his EXQ, so that's pretty good. So I think those two AoE EXQ right now definitely allow us to edge a little bit ahead. Because that allow us to just deal whatever remaining HP the enemy has, and I think that's really it. I wouldn't say they're anything groundbreaking in a way because pretty much they are like to mop up whatever the remaining HP the enemy has, and that's what I've been seeing so far. Because after both of them pop EXQ, I think we were able to secure the match, at least for day 2, because I'm not really high up in S1 or S2, so I'm not really getting like the more difficult opponent. But you guys can see it's pretty effective using both of them together. But it does really depends on what kind of investment you guys have. I think that will definitely make it better, especially for Hyaku Shiki. Once you do have a higher EXP level, it is definitely going to perform a lot more better. Same thing for Qubeley as well, because you do have a longer duration of a stun, so that is definitely going to make things a lot more easier, I feel like. But with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it. Just another quick showcasing off of Hyaku Shiki and then Qubeley, or you can just kind of say the Zeta series units overall. But other than that, I'll be catching you guys off on the next one.